Because if you care so much and you put too much emphasis on what other people think about you, you can't really be present in any given situation. Welcome back to Dodo's Den, and today's topic is stop caring so much. So this past summer, I went to a church in Denver, Colorado. Now, I love church. I've been growing up in church all my life, but something was really beautiful about this church. And it was the fact that I really did not care so much about what other people thought of me going in. See, the first crazy thing was that I had to bike about half an hour to this church. And most of the time, this was when I got off a week of work and I really didn't want to do anything, but somehow I found myself biking those dreadful 30 minutes to church. And usually this was in an outfit that was the end of the week outfit. I didn't really put too much thought into. I kind of just threw something on. I'm like, hey, I kind of want to go to church. Let me just throw something on. And that's what I did. And I was there and I saw all these people. Some people were really dressed up. Some people were really just bringing this personality, and I kind of saw how they didn't really care what I was wearing. And normally I didn't really care, but sometimes I'm so used to being around people who do care about how I look or how I present myself that when someone doesn't care, I'm like, wow, that's different. And that's how I felt. These people did not care. And I think I found myself leaving an impact in the fact that I was there and I was really being present. See, I have ADHD, so I always struggle when there's distractions around. So I always try to get to the front of whatever church I'm at. And I really tried to find a way to get to the front, even though there was people sitting all around, booths were filled up. I tried to find my way and I snuck up to the front, found a seat, and I got there. And then I worshiped, I listened to the sermon, I took notes, and then I left. And then I found out they had an Instagram, so I went to follow them on Instagram, and I saw a picture of me. They tend to pick pictures of people all around the congregation, I guess, at this church service, and they took a picture of me, and I'm like, I'm probably the most basic looking guy there. But it was because I was so present, and I was very passionate about what I was doing, and I was really just in the zone, you could say. And I think they could see the fact that I didn't care as much about what other people thought. I was just there, and it was my own choice, and it was beautiful. I stopped caring so much about what other people thought because coming in, I knew I was kind of at a disadvantage anyways. I had to bike 30 minutes. I had to be in a bad outfit I didn't really think too much about because I didn't really have that many clothes. I was in Denver. I'm from Mississippi, so I only brought a certain amount of clothes. I was already fighting a losing battle, so I'm like, I shouldn't worry so much. And I found myself leaving an impact. People wanted to come talk to me. People really, they posted me on Instagram, and I saw that. And I found that I was leaving an impact in the fact that I did not care as much. And that's something you don't think about, and something you really would think the opposite of. Maybe if you did care so much about what other people thought of you, the way you dressed, you would dress right. You would dress like everyone else. You would try to conform to the customs and normalities of everyone else. And that's how you'd impact people, right? But no, it was the opposite. And this really showed me that when I stop caring about what other people think, I can be more passionate about what I'm doing. I can be more present in the certain situation that I'm in, and I can impact others. Who would have thought that me not caring about what other people think can help those other people do better things? Maybe get motivation or inspired to maybe not care so much themselves. And I think that's so beautiful. And that's why I'm telling you to stop caring so much about what other people think, because it really puts these chains on you. I've lived in the Bible Belt in the part of the United States my entire life, which is basically the southern states. I think it's Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. I think it's those four. Maybe it's another one, I don't know. But yeah, basically we're the Christian states, and we're it's called the Bible Belt because it's normal to grow up in Christianity. And I grew up going to church and going to see all these people dressed up in these really nice outfits, and I was kind of taught from a young age, just from seeing people, that this is how I needed to dress. And as I got older, I realized that it's not about how you dress. It's not about what you say. It's not about what you do. It's about your heart. and that you're really in whatever given situation it is. For me, this was church, but maybe it could be something else for you. I think it boils down to the fact that when you care less about what other people think, you can care more about the things that are going on. You can be present in the fact that whatever you're doing is important. And when your heart's in the right place, you can focus on maybe another person. You can maybe make what you're doing a lot better. And you can have these eyes that are on you, whether you like it or not, see you and see the fact that they're putting more emphasis on what they're doing rather what other people think about them. And that's beautiful. I find myself thinking this often. I see people all the time when they're out working out or they're walking around campus. Maybe they have a very exotic outfit on. Maybe they are a goth and they wear goth outfits. I think that's awesome because I know that they don't really care about what other people think. They think it looks cool. I see this one guy who goes out to the track when I do morning practice, and he carries this black cinder block. He painted it black, and he does cinder block exercises during the first half hour of my practice, and then he leaves. And there's tons of people around to judge this man. Why are you at a cinder block? You look silly. You can have all these things racing through your mind thinking about what other people are possibly thinking about. But the thing is, those are never going to go away. Those are never going to go away, so you might as well sink into the fact that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I care about what other people think, because regardless of if I care, they're going to think one way no matter if I like it or not. And when I stop caring, they're still going to think that way, but I'm not worried about it. The thing is, you can't change the way other people think. If someone was thinking a certain way about you or have something in the back of their mind, their idea of you, until you go and interact with them, you can't really change that idea. Maybe you never get the opportunity to interact with that person. Maybe those people at that church who posted me on Instagram, they never really got to talk to me. But they saw the fact that I was present and I was there. And they thought it was beautiful. But I've grown up around people who see it as weird. Why are you not wearing a dress or a suit to Sunday service at church? That's odd. Everyone else is doing it, right? But at that point, I just see it as being another number. I think there's a lot of beauty in connecting with where you are and what you are doing when you don't care. Because when I'm at church, I'm not at church for other people. I'm at church for Jesus. And I would strongly doubt that Jesus would care about the fact that I'm not wearing a dress or a suit to church. I think he cares more about the fact that I'm there. Too many people worry about this. That's why too many people, they never go up and talk to people. They never have these interactions. They never do risk. They never take risk in their life because they're too scared about what other people think. But what if I told you that more people are worried about what you say rather than how you look? Because think about it. If an old man came up to you and he was really stinky and he just was really dirty, but he told you the most profound and wise thing you've ever heard in your life, you're going to think about the fact that he was stinky and dirty, whatever, but you're going to think more about the fact that he just told you something amazing. And that's where it matters. You can worry about presenting yourself well. I'm not saying completely throw manners and proper, decency out of the window. Still present yourself well, but don't worry so much about that when there's other things more important to worry about. I want to be more worried about the fact that I'm in church and I'm focusing on the message and worshiping and just having a great interaction with someone rather than what they're thinking about me. Oh, I better say the right thing because if I don't, they're going to think this. I have no control over that. I can say one thing and they can think something completely different. Even if you say exactly what you want to say, if they are set on thinking this certain way, sometimes you can't knock them off that hill. They're going to stand and they're going to say whatever they're going to say or think whatever they're going to think, no matter what you say, no matter if you keep your mouth shut, no matter if you say something, no matter if you walk away. So understanding that people are going to keep their own ideas and thoughts and things they say, no matter what you do, stop caring. Because if you care so much and you put too much emphasis on what other people think about you, you can't really be present in any given situation. I want to be present. I want to be someone who impacts other people. And this summer, taught me that sometimes not caring can really make more of an impact than we ever really realized. Thank you so much for watching this, listening this, consuming this, wherever you're getting it from. This is Dodo signing out, and peace.